Oh, fuck it. Let's go live. Let's go early. Let's
Right on.
go live early.
Cool.
I wouldn't.
Let's do it.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Uh, you might know this guy. Uh, this is my buddy Rob Thunderheart.
How you doing, folks? Yeah.
Happy Monday evening. We're a little bit
Yeah.
early.
Yeah, we're a little bit
And,
early. We thought we'd do something different for a change. I mean, everybody else is always late.
for a Monday, why? Yeah. Good to have you here, Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Likewise, brother.
Yeah. We streamed a couple of days ago, and I'm glad to have you on again. Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah. Right on. Yeah. Oh, there. Just popped on.
Yeah, I think we're just live on YouTube now.
Yeah. Yeah. Whoop. Right on. Whoop.
Hello to
Mute myself.
Pleasant Valley Picker. Hi,
Hey, Pleasant Valley Picker.
good to have you here. So
Yeah.
I think I'm just going to take a quick moment here, Rod, and I'm going to share this out on Twitter or X. Do you call
Oh,
it X or do you call it Twitter?
yeah.
I still call it Twitter, I think.
Yeah. No, me too, man. Yeah, I don't fucking care what he says too. I mean, like it's just. Hang on. Let me mute me again.
All right. Yeah, I can still hear you in the background. Well.
Yeah, no, me too, man. Yeah, I don't fucking care what he says too. I mean, like it's just. Hang on. Yeah,
Yeah, awesome.
no, me too, man. Yeah, I don't fucking care what he says too. I mean, like it's. Whoa, echo.
Yeah, hi. Cornerstone Punk album says PvP. Many sites give it
There,
4 or 5 stars. No kidding. All
there.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is by The Damned, Machine Gun Etiquette. Well, I like the title. I like the title, people. Anything with machine gun in the title, yeah, I'm a
Nice.
fan of. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. All right. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, thanks for being here, Pleasant Valley Clippers.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Thanks for popping in.
Absolutely. Ooh, and look who else we have on a Monday night. We have DJ Play Nice. Hey, welcome to have you here.
Hey, hey, we had 5 people pop in. Holy crap!
Yeah, good
Wow.
to have you, DJ Play Nice.
Wow. Who knew?
So, yeah, Rod, what uh, what was your uh, topic? What was on your mind when you wanted to from shaky Taiwan? Hey, Rob Atlas, you're in Taiwan. Yeah, are they having earthquakes right now? I know Japan had constant earthquakes, but that's good. You want
Yeah.
lots of smaller earthquakes as opposed to the
Yeah.
big one every few
Yeah.
years. Yeah, well, I've never been to Taiwan. I'd love to. Yeah, hail to
No,
you,
me
Rob
neither.
Atlas. Hello and hail to you. Yeah, I'm not sure how much I want to fly these days. I mean, if they're hiring pilots based on their color and gender and sexual preference, I don't know how much I want to in the mechanics. But I'm not sure how much I want to fly. I want the
Oh,
mechanic that's the highest on the test. I don't care
man, I'm
who they are.
100% with you on that one.
I don't care what they look like or who they are. Did you score the highest on the test? Okay. I want you hired as a mechanic. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I think I'm gonna have to
Damn it,
build my
culture.
own
Why'd you
airplane.
have to pick one? Yeah.
Hey, good to have you here. Rob Atlas is here. Hello and welcome.
Oh,
And
right on.
he says 90.
Rob
Whoa,
Altus. Hey,
can you read what he said there?
greetings from
Yeah,
Sheik. 95. Oh,
no
no
way.
way. 95 earthquakes in the last 24 hours.
That's what he said. No, it must be 24 earthquakes in 95 hours. That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah.
Damn, they're probably selling a lot of sandbags, I would think.
Yeah.
Meritocracy. There you go, PvP.
Hmm.
Hello, Mr. Sonic Madman. Hello and welcome. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Is that 95 earthquakes in the last 24 hours in Taiwan?
Good
And
Lord.
how many? Now, does China have the ability to create earthquakes?
Yeah. Shoot.
Did China create some of those? I don't know. Hard to say.
I
Holy
must say
shit.
that's the one. Have you ever encountered one or been in one or Spidey?
Yeah, I lived in Tokyo. Yeah, I lived in Tokyo for a year and a half. Yeah,
Oh yeah, of course. Well, yeah.
yeah, yeah, all
What
the time.
is
Yeah, nothing
what was your
too.
okay? Okay, so what was your first earthquake like, brother?
I got 4.2. The seven-story tower that I was in swayed quite a bit, and that's why. Because when being a Canadian, the first month I was there, I noticed we didn't have any fire sprinklers in the building. And I'm saying, wait a second, we're a seven-story building. We don't have any fire sprinklers. What the hell? And I said, yeah, the fire sprinklers, because they're made of black iron pipe, right? You know, like sprinkler pipe. So it's
Huh?
not
Really?
flexible. It's not flexible. So in order to meet the earthquake codes, they don't have sprinkler pipes in there because the building needs to be able to bend and sway, which
Right.
it did, which it did. So the sprinkler pipes actually make it less safe because it's more rigid and it doesn't bend.
Right.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, that's the way it was.
Huh.
But anyway, yeah, I was up on we taught on the sixth, I was up on the sixth floor. The seventh floor was just storage. And we had this little rickety chair with this ratcheting system by the window so that you could evacuate people out the window with this
Right.
like ratcheting system down 7 stories, one person at a time. It looked sketchy as fuck, and I never had to use it, but
Yeah.
it was pretty crazy. Yeah, I was never concerned at any time, but I was inland enough. But
Yeah.
yeah, it rocked the building because the building is not rigid. So we
That.
just swayed, no big deal, And sometimes I'd wake up in the mornings and I swear I dreamed that we had an earthquake and my housemates, we'd be getting ready for work in the morning and I'd have to ask them like, was that a dream or did we actually have an earthquake last night? It's like, yeah, no, I felt one too. It's like, yeah, it
Wow.
wasn't a dream. So can you read what Rob Atlas said about the magnitude, please, Rob?
Most most were 4 point range, but the biggest was 6.3. Oh,
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I think 4.2 was the biggest I experienced in Tokyo, and that wasn't anything serious. Yeah, if I was on the coast, agreed PvP. I lived in Victoria for a year and a half on Vancouver Island. Or was it 3 years? No, it was 3 years. And earthquakes and tsunamis are a concern there. Absolutely.
oh,
Yeah.
I
But
bet. Yeah.
I always lived on the top floors. So, hi, Mr. Sonic Madman. Good to see you.
Hey, Miskatonic Man.
PvP says he's never been one. Really? Because I know when I lived in Whistler, we had a couple living in Whistler. Whistler is in the earthquake zone, believe it or not. Um, yeah, maybe not this far in. Maybe not where I am now. It's not a concern to me. Not at all.
Yeah.
Do you mind reading Rob Atlas again, please, Rob?
Yeah. No, nothing like. No, nothing like that. Taiwan is on the Ring of Fire, as it's common here. I fell into a burning ring of fire. Hey, Dad Man walking. Hey, good to see you, brother.
Um, Johnny Cash, man, Johnny friggin' Cash. Yeah, hey, Dead Man Walking. Good to see you. Yeah, yeah, we're just shooting the shit. Um, when I was in New Brunswick, when I was living on the East Coast, I was in probably maybe grade 6 or something like that, grade 7, and we had an earthquake, and it was centered around Plaster Rock, and that's in the south. And coincidentally, that's close to Point La Pro, where our nuclear power plant is for New Brunswick. So that was a bit of a concern. Fortunately, there was no issue with the nuclear power plants. But yeah, I've
Hmm.
been. That was a game. That was a 4.6 or 4.3. It was significant. It was big enough to shake the buildings. Like I honestly thought the neighbor had hit the house with his truck or something, had driven into our house. I was watching cartoons. It was a Saturday morning, and it was 6 in the morning or something. I was the only one up, and all of a sudden the house started shaking. And I thought, oh Jesus, the neighbor's driving into the house or something. But yeah, where I am now, in the Okanagan, there's no real danger of earthquakes. I mean, we have to worry about bears and mountain lions, but
Hmm.
and freezing to death. But earthquakes, yeah, not so much. Oh, and hey, Dad Man says hello to you.
Hmm. How you doing, brother?
Yeah. And Mr. Tonic Madman says if you're not at the epicenter, it's not too bad, but disconcerting for the first time. Yeah, definitely. If you're not used to it, and eventually, like I said, living in Tokyo for a year and a half, you just get used to the earthquakes. Absolutely. You're about 85 miles from the epicenter. Okay, Rob. Yeah, yeah, interesting. One building already red tagged in the original quake of April 3rd tilted on its side. Damn. Okay, so the original quake hit on April 30 years getting aftershocks now or something. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Rod? Do you think governments in the world have the ability to trigger earthquakes yet, or are we there? Is that just science fiction and conspiracy theory? What do you
It's.
think? Does any government have the
I'm glad you
practical
brought that up
practical
because,
ability to repeatedly? It has to be repeatable.
yeah,
That's
but
why they nuked Japan twice. That's why there were two nuclear bombs on Japan. It has to be proven to be repeatable, otherwise it's not a threat.
I bet you didn't know this. Um,
You'd be surprised, but I don't know.
did you know that during the end of his days, Nikola Tesla was. See, this is why I love Murdoch Mysteries. I'll get back to that in a second. But um, did you know that Nikola Tesla, he apparently went, well, some say he went mad in his final days when he before he passed away. And reportedly, I mean, because he actually even friended, I think it was like, not sure if it was a pigeon or a sparrow, but like he started talking a lot to birds. And maybe he's just gone real in a world that's just gone crazy. I guess you could say, probably from his perspective, especially being his. If anybody even the least bit familiar with Tesla, knowing that he lost the current war with Edison, not
Mhm.
Edison, Thomas Edison, and because of that he went crazy. And it's funny too because ultimately his AC power actually proved to be better than Edison's DC, because DC is basically the same thing you get from a car battery. Just power from the immediate area, and that's it. And it's very it's the kind of current that it's very terrible for traveling long distances. Whereas AC power can be used. What it has is a transformer. You can put a transformer a little about 20 miles away, and what that is it does is it ramps up the power, the wattage of the power back then, which is why AC wound up being a lot more prevalent for widespread use. Anyway, getting back to Tesla,
Yeah,
his excuse me,
I think AC power is
his final
easy to
days.
transmit over distances too,
Yeah,
if I'm not
yeah,
mistaken.
yeah. Did
Over,
in his final days, get this, Nikola Tesla was actually working on an earthquake machine.
I've heard that. See, this is why we need cardinals. See, this is why we need Gil here. Sorry for the ring light, but yeah, that's exactly.
Oh,
Uh,
missed the guy. Yeah, Hey, Sci-Fi Mombi and I talked about him too
Guaranteed.
today. That's just amazing.
Right? Yeah, guaranteed.
Yeah, that's just funny that bring him up, and it's funny too because
And the day I
he,
was by, I don't think I
he's
drink
still
from
around
him
here.
every day. I drink from him.
My nana always said that too. I mean, it's kind of cheesy when like when DC sort of like like if you always remember somebody, they're never really gone. Well, yeah, but you know what else too is my nana always said that when someone has passed to the other side, to the spirit world, it doesn't like when I mean, you can't see them or hear them or anything like that, but when you're talking about them, they're there, and I'm willing to
This
bet
was
he's
not.
right here.
This wasn't planned, Rod.
Oh man. Oh, you got so much from him, and I got so little, man. Like,
I'll send you
I
some.
think I
I'll
never
share.
got anything from him actually. Now that I think about it, oh man, yeah, no, like,
I'll share.
yeah, but as I was saying, also on Murdoch Mysteries, I mean, I freaking love that show. I don't love it now because it's kind of gone woke. I mean, like, because like now they're having a black coroner. I mean, it's 1910, and they're having a black coroner. This is look, I'm absolutely not not against that, but I mean, like, and I get the whole diversity, you know, but by the same token, stop it. It's just not realistic. We know that there were not black coroners back then. I mean, maybe there were some lucky ones, but I mean, no, they weren't. They were just not. Shoot, they weren't even like. I'm sorry, but they were barely considered people above slaves. This is not. I'm not. I'm just. It's not that. I'm just simply for historical accuracy. You
There
know.
weren't a lot of conversations either.
Yeah, but getting back to it. Uh, there's one episode in. I'm not sure. I think it was season 4. Might have been season 3. Anyway, um, there's somebody trying to contact station house number 5, and and then they meet Murdoch and Crabtree in a remote hotel, and then suddenly the guy's in his room, and suddenly he's and then Murdoch's like, "Hey, I'm here. You wanted to see me, And then and then the guy, uh, I forget whether I don't think they got into the room fast enough because he wasn't able to because he put a a heavy dresser against the wall or against the door, and then suddenly like the guy knows, and then all of a sudden like he had what appeared to be a heart attack, and then Murdoch takes him to Dr. Ogden, and then because at the time this is season 4, 2 or 3 or 4, and she was a coroner back then. um and she examined him, and then she said to him, calls Murdoch back, when they were trying to solve the case, and then she says, "Well, it turns out that when I opened him up, his insides appeared to be, well, for lack of a better term, cooked." And he was like, "Cooked?" And they, sorry, not a heart attack gun. They created a microwave gun, and it was a really really good episode. And then like at one point there,
You can cook
Murdoch
a
realizes
bean
that,
from across the room.
like, as in like from like hundreds of feet away, he got shot with a microwave gun.
Ooh. I meant for heating up dinners, but
You no, you really need to see that movie.
I'm, yeah,
You need to see that episode. It's good. So I said,
you think
I
it's
freaking love
actually
Murdoch.
those those radio transceivers for airplanes. When you're coming into an airport, like at the
Hmm.
1 kilometer, 10 kilometer
Yeah,
mark, they have these towers that emit, and they're
yeah.
microwaves. And I remember getting a quote with the buddy I was working with, and we had to go do a quote for re-roofing this microwave tower for the airport.
Yeah.
And we just put the ladder up on top and started to climb up. And the guys come running out from the building yelling at us, saying, "No, no, we
Hey,
have to,
Rancor Steve.
you know,
Yeah.
there's microwaves being emitted." If we would have poked our heads up above the level and gone on to the roof, we would have got microwaved. They had to shut it down for us to go up there. It's crazy, man. Hey, Rancor
Yeah.
Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, just
Yeah.
having, yeah,
It.
dude, Vikings with a black female. Arrow. I'm not sure about that. I don't know what Vikings Valhalla is. What is
What
Vikings?
was there? Oh, you don't know the Valhallas, the Viking Valhalla, the well, well, they're angels actually. Basically, the in
I know what
Norse
the top.
mythology.
I know what the mythology is. I don't know. Is it a TV show that I'm unaware of or a comic book?
I don't even beats me. I'm not sure. Not quite sure what he's talking about there. Unless I mean, could be talking about Valkyries. There. Yeah.
Well, the Klingons
Um,
have their Valhalla, don't they?
yeah.
Stobelcore is there.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
believe I believe the Klingons are loosely based on Vikings.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think so. Hey, Rancor Steve, good to have you here.
Yeah. Yeah. Good to see you, brother.
Yeah. Oh yes, in response, yes, in response to PvP.
Oh,
So
I
let's
see.
see. Vikings show. Okay,
Oh,
right. And there was a black Viking chick. Yeah, I don't know if that would have gone down so
oh,
well.
that's
She
just
would
the
have been.
invasion of some. That's some DEI invasion on the show. Somebody managed to slip
She
that past
would
the
have.
censors.
Very, she would have been very popular with the Vikings, I think. Yes. Oh, Jill is doing her top 10. Oh,
Oh,
POS.
oh, cool.
Fantastic. Excellent. I do like the original. So yeah, do you think then that so back to the original question, do you think any governments in the world have the ability to make earthquakes upon command? Frank or Steve might have an opinion on this.
I bet he
Can
would. Yeah.
can China create earthquakes? Do they have the technology? And would they have to use nukes to do it?
You
I
know
mean,
what? It would absolutely not surprise me at all. Not at all. Did you know too that there's actually well, there's also rumors of a heart attack gun.
no,
Hmm.
no. I've heard of the heart attack injection, but I haven't heard about the heart attack gun. No, what's that about?
Well,
I haven't
reported
from a
what
distance.
little
Like if you
what
point a gun
little
at me, I'm probably gonna have a heart attack. Yes. Never had.
what little I've heard about it is that the ice they're actually first of all the bullets are ice, you know.
Huh.
And all I know is that the ice itself, or rather the water, the ice, it has poison within it that causes heart attacks. And then the thing of it is that the bullet penetrates the skin, but then like it's it's ice to begin with, so that when it heats up on body temperature, there probably might be wind up being like a mark, somewhere, but it won't matter because like it'll be ice and it'll just melt away. And I'm sure a coroner would probably just look at, oh,
Oh,
it's just like cut himself or something like that, and like
you're
they
talking
wouldn't really
market.
think anything of it, you know?
Wow. Right. Yeah. Wow. Like a mosquito bite or something.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Well, I know that you know, you're a fan of medieval history, I know. And
Hmm.
they used to have rings. like some of the wealthy people used to have rings with a little needle that would pop out. You could have poison on it, and you could actually, you know, shake someone's hand and poison them.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely. Oh, and Mr. Tonic, Madman is saying nonsense to the Vikings revisionism, not necessarily to North Korea being able to cause earthquakes.
But that's
Oh,
that's like black people being in Scotland. Like, really? You know, like, that's like the whitest of white people on the planet. You know, and you're
oh,
gonna tell me that, like, um, yeah, okay, sure.
so speaking of earthquakes, I
Hmm?
remember this was like 6 months ago. Was it 6 or 8 months ago? Turkey sort of snubbed NATO a little bit. I think they sort of
Oh,
said that they weren't going to join NATO.
this sounds
And,
familiar.
and a week later, Turkey had a devastating earthquake after they
That's
publicly snubbed NATO.
s-
Coincidence?
I,
I
yeah.
remember thinking at the time,
It's hard
interesting.
not to. I mean,
Interesting. That's pretty coincidental timing.
hmm
And
exactly.
Turkey doesn't, they're not a country that has a lot of earthquakes either. So, I mean, if it's
Hmm.
Japan or Taiwan, sure.
Yeah.
Just, and I don't believe it. I don't imagine that we have the power to control earthquakes, but it's interesting to
No,
think about. I mean,
it is.
do we have the power to affect rainstorms and climatic weather over a continent, over a limited area? Possibly, probably, maybe, but earthquakes,
Yeah.
that's it. But it's just
Well,
very coincidental timing, Rob. Very coincidental timing.
I, again, I mean, like, it's, even on Murdoch Mysteries, like, Inspector Brackenreed, a lot of times too, like, um, he said to Murdoch, like, and like, he's your Irish cop, with that accent, you know,
Mhm.
bloody coincidences are gonna make me throw up, and like,
That's
yeah,
right.
I mean,
Awesome.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's the old, I'm too old to believe in coincidence, which is absolutely true, and you've probably thought this too, you know.
yeah. I the more the older I get, I think the less I believe in coincidence. Honestly,
Occam's razor.
you Occam's razor. Yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely. Um, you take out, you remove all the improbable, you remove the impossible, and what is left is the most likely, is the most likely explanation, more or less. I'm paraphrasing.
That's Sherlock Holmes. It's
Yeah,
um, if you remove the impossible, and then whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth.
that's Occam's razor. Yeah, absolutely. That's
Yeah,
fascinating. Um,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's the technology that our government has, the U.S. government in particular, and the Chinese government. Well, see, even though the Chinese technology, still the problem is it's all made in China, so a lot of their shit doesn't
Hmm.
work. It's literally made in China.
Mm,
But the U.S.
I'm
stuff,
less inclined. I'm less inclined to believe that. I mean, because, like, if it didn't work, well then, as much as it might make us feel better when we go to bed at night, like, oh, it doesn't work, it's from China. I'm like, I don't know, man. I mean, that's not something I'd want to, like, absolutely believe.
oh, 100%. There's so much
And,
corruption there, Rob.
and
So
then
much
the other thing
corruption.
too is, yeah, and then the other thing too is when you really think about it, um, how do you know that's not psyops in terms of, like, they want you to believe that nothing in China works, and then all of a sudden, like, you're like, oh, well, see, it doesn't work. Then all of a sudden you find out, oh, fuck, it does.
Yeah, because
You know?
because I subscribe to a lot of people like expats that live there, like and they're all you can see like like daily Chinese police people. regular people are posting videos of shit just breaking, just collapsing, like like you can't escape it. It's undeniable. It's the volume of videos of just people recording and just shit just breaking and falling apart and
Hmm.
collapsing. And their own military people are like having videos on TikTok because you can't stop social media. And these
Hmm.
military guys are like, look at our guns, and there's not.
Yeah.
There's too much. There's too much of it. And I believe that there's so much corruption in China. Of course, um, like you get contracts for building whatever this weapon, and you're gonna build it as cheaply as possible. You're going to pocket the money. You're going to build it for cheaper materials than are spec. You're going to pocket the difference, make a profit, and everyone's going to hush up. And I believe that communism breeds corruption more so. There's less accountability in communism, so that's the only reason I think they can get away with more corruption. I mean, there's reports of Chinese military commanders in charge of nuclear missile silos. This happened in Russia too, where they drain the nuclear missile of rocket fuel, sell it on the black market for a lot of money. The commander, puts the money in his pocket, fills the thing with water so that it looks and appears full of rocket fuel because they're never going to use it. It's a nuclear missile. He knows they're never going to fire it. He sells
Hmm.
the rocket fuel. He's living rich, and the thing is full of water. They have evidence of that in Russia. They know that happens in China and Russia because of the corruption. Because communism breeds corruption. Because you can pay people off. I backpacked through China. As a backpacker,
I'm
you go around China with a $50 American bill in your pocket, ready to pay off the first cop that pulls you over. You don't do that in
well,
America because
well.
it's corruption. Corruption
I
is
mean,
so, it's a way of life in China. It's
man,
literally a way of life.
uh, I'm in no way defending communism. No fucking way.
No,
But
not really.
I'll say this, and that is that
Hey, Apex.
I find it more that it's because it's a dirty system
Uh-huh.
because it's, well, honestly, not unlike capitalism in terms of like you get oligarchs in there with so much money and then they can just buy so many people off, i.e. in the political system, then it really becomes dirty no matter what it is.
In
Be it
any,
fascism,
any,
communism,
yeah,
capitalism, you name
yeah,
it.
yes, yeah.
Even socialism gets dirty that way.
Ooh, Irene says hello to you. Irene Jobson says hello, Rod. What's up?
Hey, hey, I'm good to see you.
Good, good to see you, Irene.
Yeah. Hey, your Muslim uncle. Wow, we got 10 people. Holy shit, we got 10 people on here. How
Fantastic. And
you doing,
Irene
everybody?
Jobson. Yeah, corruption sadly goes hand in hand with
Apex
communism.
Comics. How you doing?
Hello, welcome. Yeah,
Hey,
thanks for being here. Your Muslim uncle, welcome.
yeah,
Thank you. Thanks, Apex. Yeah, you're
yeah.
right. People,
Well said. Yeah, exactly.
why aren't people as involved in politics anymore? Why are we letting this, like, people just go along with it? They're pretty compliant now. Why is
The
that?
worst, the worst of
Are
it
they,
is because everybody. Well, there's two reasons. I see two reasons for that, and that is, first of all, they've been conditioned to the point where they just accept it. Secondly, I mean, well, I'm reminded of Naked Gun. Naked Gun two and a half. I remember one poster. It said, "Frank Drebin is back. Just accept it." And it sounds funny, but I mean that's just the way people are in this world. I hate to say it. There's not enough people who stand up because the other thing is that funnily enough, as much as everybody would like to hack on Fidel Castro, the
Mhm.
Cubans are probably one of the most well-educated countries in the entire world. Now, for the time being, that doesn't really mean a whole lot, but the point is, at least their people are educated enough. You don't see that in. I mean, Canada's falling behind too. I mean, shoot, we're starting to, and I'm definitely going to put this in my book series. In
Mhm.
fact, Julian is going to be, put down as a toxic male because he's,
No.
he's the gym teacher, and like, I mean, he gets really hard. And this is reminding me of my gym teacher who, in grade 8, like he always pushed us to do this 12-minute walk run, you know, and like, well, I mean, it's funny too. I remember how exhausting that was. I mean, because like I was a pretty good runner at the time, and like a 12-minute walk run, it's just like, oh, I mean, like you could run, you could jog, you could walk, but the point was, like Mr. Marshall always pushed us to just get up there and like run, just and then like what you do is we'd be doing laps around the gym, and but I mean, like some of the other, well, girls in my class, well,
You were running behind the girls all the way.
yeah,
You
well,
were.
no, the prettier ones. No, no, they wouldn't keep up. They'd be like just they would just walk and that's it, and that's nothing. I mean, even if you just got up and walked around, even if you did nothing for just 12 minutes but walked, you'd be fine. But I was competitive. I was like I wanted to see how many laps around the gym I could get in before
I
12
was
minutes
always,
was up.
I was
You know,
always the fastest in the schools. Always. Yeah.
yeah. So
You had to be.
but getting back to I'm getting off track. Like what I'm saying is like like Julian was a is a I mean by today's standards, by today's metrics, some people would consider Julian doing his 12-minute walk run on a student's maybe a little bit harsh, you know. I mean, like I remember too, like he always said to me, "Come on, Forsberg, pick them feet up. Come on,
Mhm.
don't be pushing a broom for the rest of your life, don't do you?" And
But we need people to push us. That's how we get better.
yeah,
That's how
but
we improve.
yeah, but funnily enough, no matter what job I had in my entire life, even out here on the farm, working for my dad on the dairy farm, uh, no matter what job I had, I always pushed a broom somewhere, somehow. Oh,
Mhm.
I think it was almost like probably even like Marshall's like slight warning to me for the rest of my life. You know, you're gonna be pushing a broom somewhere along the life, somewhere in your life.
Yeah, but being tidy is good. I like being tidy. Yeah, and you're right,
Yeah,
TVP.
but
Um, Critical thinking. The best thing I learned in my university education, the only thing maybe, is
mhm,
critical reading and critical thinking and the
nice.
ability to write.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I went to university in 93,
Mhm,
93, 97, and back then it was a liberal arts education, um,
yeah.
cultural anthropology, and yeah, it was critical thinking was a big focus. Absolutely,
Yeah.
Pete. Good point. I think students today really
Yeah.
need uh, to learn critical thinking.
Yeah.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah. Well, let's not ignore the chat. Holy crap, there's 14 people here now. Wow. Yeah.
If you don't have a doctor access, take hours to get, but I still could. Yeah, the medical system in Canada is pretty hurting right now.
It
I
is.
don't even bother. My brother is level 3 first aid. I don't even go to the hospital, Rod. Honestly, if anything happens,
Mhm.
I just go over there. You know,
Yeah.
I don't go to the clinic anymore. As a Canadian, we used to be proud of our healthcare system when I was a kid. You remember that? When I
You
was a
remember
kid,
we were proud of the police once upon a time too? I mean,
oh, yeah,
what was the RCMP's motto? We
always
always get
defend.
our man. We always get our man. Remember that?
Now I think it's we like to run over seniors in wheelchairs with our horses. Two of them. There was a man and a woman to run over. Everyone forgets about the guy, but the guy was also
Oh yeah,
running.
exactly.
Beside the man,
Yeah.
or beside the woman. Uh, Irene Jobson says, I totally always start running from
Yeah.
14 to 15-minute miles. Man, good for you. Running a mile is awesome.
Nice.
I try to I
Right
try to
on.
get 5K. Every couple of days I'll run 5K just to make sure I still can.
Oh yeah,
And,
same here. That's why I run every second day. 3 days a week.
that's right. Yep, absolutely. Do you mind reading what PvP has to say?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. PV,
Oh,
PvP, PVD, PVD, PvP, Pleasant Valley Picker, CA. Since I got a regular doctor a year ago, I schedule appointments every 2-3 months, and she is great. Best doctor I ever had. Nice.
no, yes, that's good to have. Yeah,
Yeah,
you want to consider that. Absolutely.
yeah,
And you get an A by improving. So I purposely didn't go fast at first. I think that's called
yeah,
sandbagging, Johnson. That's called sandbagging.
yeah. Yeah, Apex Comics. I miss Leslie Nielsen too. Actually, Leslie Nielsen actually went to school right here in
Yes,
Edmonton.
yes.
I believe I can't. I'm not 100%, but I believe the Victoria Composite, which is like just north of downtown Edmonton. Oh, um,
That's good.
yeah. I believe it's the Victoria Composite School, high school downtown Edmonton. Um, I believe they have Leslie Nielsen's graduation photo in 1956. His photos like right on the wall, and yes, he actually had dark hair back then.
No kidding. I can't imagine Leslie Nielsen
Actually,
back then.
well, actually, you can see it even in Airplane. His hair was mostly silver by then, but like
But he did
you
have
you
a
know it,
very,
it
yeah.
still had
Yeah,
dark it still had darkness in it because the white and silver hadn't filled out yet.
I think that was 1977,
When he
maybe?
grew, well, yeah, it was 70. Yeah, I think it was 77. Yeah,
Maybe. Maybe. I mean, I was
yeah,
5. I didn't know, but pretty I was in.
yeah.
Yep, exactly. Apex. Hey, cleanliness is important. Absolutely.
Well,
People
remember I said this too. Oh, yeah. I always did relatively well on critical thinking skills. Good, right on. Um,
Yep.
Remember I told you too that there are no well, you probably know this. They don't employ janitors in schools in Japan.
Uh, because the staff do their own cleaning now or something?
No, because the kids clean the rooms up before they
Oh,
go home.
yes. Right. Yes. Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
excellent.
Huh.
No, no, good. No, that's right. Yeah.
For,
Well, see, when I taught English in Japan, I only taught teenagers and adults. I didn't have
yeah.
kids. But yeah, you know what? That rings a bell, Rob. Yeah, that rings a bell. Good.
I knew
That's
it. I knew it.
in our
I
school
figured you
system
would.
too, because I've worked maintenance and I've worked janitors, and in our systems here, janitors are not only for cleaning up, they also do security. They do maintenance. They
Hmm.
do if there's a like we do fire alert, like the fire panel monitoring, the sprinkler system,
Yeah,
the air conditioning, the heating systems, all of that.
yeah.
The ones we want. But yeah, that's I I was aware of that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah,
I knew you were.
have,
Yeah.
have the kids
Refreshed ahead there.
have the kids take some responsibility for their school. If they spend their time cleaning up their school, they're not going to go tagging it with sharpies and things, and
Yeah, exactly. See, it teaches
they're not going
it
to go
teaches people.
vandalize.
Yeah, it teaches kids to have a
Responsibility.
more pride in their
Hmm.
in pride in their building, pride in their school.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, well, that's excellent. PvP. This is a really good. I love reading positive things, and if he has a positive experience, Rod, do you mind reading that, please?
Oh, you wanted me to read this? Okay.
Yes, please.
Pleasant Valley Picker says, my experience with healthcare here is first rate. I've had many tests the past few years. They scheduled my appointments, and when I went, everything went smoothly. Top-notch healthcare professionals. It's not bad here either, at least in
So
Alberta.
that is so good to hear because it's not often you hear that. That is fantastic, PVT.
Yeah,
PVT. That is so good to hear. Excellent. I love positive stories like that.
yeah.
Yeah, and if you have a doctor, it's so very. I can't. Well, I haven't been able to find a doctor, but fortunately, I haven't needed to yet. And like I said, my brother, my housemate, and my brother are well trained, so I haven't needed to. And there's no
You'll
way I'm
like my.
getting. I'm not
You would
going to
like
get a
my
doctor
dog.
on my bone.
You'd
Not
like
gonna.
my.
Maybe
Right.
you're a doctor. I'm.
You would
I'm.
like
I
my.
say,
Yeah. You would like my doctor.
yeah, definitely. As long
Well,
as
no, I mean,
he's
no.
confident.
The reason why I say you'd like him is because he actually got. Well, um, he was operating out of the Devon Hospital. Devon is a small little oil town, just maybe 15 minutes away from Edmonton, and it's got a small little hospital. And anyway, as I said, my doctor, Dr. Prince, he worked out of there. But when COVID got really high, and then like everybody, was supposed to get the jab, he refused. He's like, "No, I don't need it. I'm healthy," and no, he is. He's a healthy man, you know. Uh, and he refused. He refused, so he had to he wound up actually having to relocate to the town of Beaumont, which is about 20 minutes away from where Devon is. So, but no, good for him. I mean, like, and I said this already, but I mean, like, did you get that Instagram post from Gina Carano that I sent you? Ha, right on.
That's where I grew up.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
You know Fredericton?
Yeah,
I was
you were
doing
saying
geography.
like, yeah, you were saying
Yeah.
there's a Devon out there too.
Well, this is what it looks like. That's from the
Yeah,
north side. That's the view from the north
cool,
side underneath it.
nice.
Yep. Spent a lot of time there. Um,
And did you
I
know?
don't. I did get your, but I don't do um Instagram. I don't have Instagram's a dating app. You know that, right? I don't have that.
Eh, nah, I don't know. I find more. Uh, I don't know. If you treat it like a dating app, then it's a dating app. But like, I don't,
I just
and I don't get that stuff. I mean,
YouTube and Rumble. So what does Irene Jobson mean by this?
let's go to
I'm not sure what you mean by that,
LMAO. The old ones go down easier.
but I want to know more. I have many questions.
I don't.
Oh my God. Yes, West Bagel. Oh, that's what.
Ah,
Listening to how the old people in with the horses and they'd go down easier. Yes, because Rod and I would just get out of the way, or possibly Rod would probably push the horse over.
probably shoulder
You'd,
check him.
no, you do the thunder bomb to the horse.
Yeah, I used to do that to my dog, Satch. Had a wolf
Oh my.
husky.
Yeah, well, no,
Hmm.
yeah, dogs are cool. Yeah, wrestle. You can wrestle with some dogs for sure. Yeah, especially the bigger. Yeah. Hey, good to see you, West Cagle. Awesome. Fantastic. Good to see you,
Hey,
West
what's
Cagle.
Kagan? Good to see you, man. Yeah, we have a
Uh,
rotating crowd in here.
This crap leaves me. Sorry, but that's not my experience. You are one of the lucky ones. Most people that I know that have had experience with the healthcare system, including some wrenches that I know, have not had as lucky an experience as you have. You're very lucky, my friend. Good for you.
I'm not
That's
gonna
awesome. Good for you.
I'm not gonna diss or say we're because I recognize there's a lot of problems with it, and it should be. I mean, probably the biggest thing. You probably, if you weren't aware, Spidey, um,
Yeah.
I, I know this also. Well, also because like one of my, well, I don't haven't talked to her for years. Although I did pull a headache out of her. I don't know if you saw that I did that on for Big Daddy MRI on Doomcock a couple weeks ago. I pulled a headache out of him.
I don't. Oh,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
no.
I pulled his headache out, and he was just kind of like, "Wow, I, I don't believe it. It feels better." And I was like, I said there might be some residual aches, but I said it'll go away within in a few minutes or so, and it did. And he was like, "Wow, I don't believe it." And that happened to my friend. Her name she's Greek actually. Her name is
Okay.
Constantina, and spelled with a K.
Yeah.
And super
Yeah.
super gorgeous too. I mean, like, and I'm willing to bet you 100 to 1 that I'll bet you she's single, even if she might, she may want to hide it from certain people. Um, anyway, really gorgeous, gorgeous dentist, and she's in Montreal, Quebec, and um, again, like this is, this is where the rest of us Canucks look at longingly at Quebec and say, well, why don't we get that? And as much as I hate Jughead Singh, and I do, um, he at least advocated that. Well, why doesn't the rest of Canada, get free dental care? Because that's the thing. See, in
It's not
Quebec,
free. It's not
dental
free.
uh, dental oh no, dental is 100% covered in Quebec, but it's not
But
here.
it's not free. And the
It's not
taxpayers,
free,
we pay for it. And the government doesn't have money. So we do pay for it.
dude. Hmm. Okay,
I mean, the
fine. But I
government
mean, like, man, as far
comes
as
from
I'm concerned, though, too, it's, well, okay, it's covered by the by taxpayers, but you still should get some money back and stuff from what you pay for your taxes once a year. I see nothing wrong with that. I don't mind
I
that.
would do.
I mean, that's the whole reason why you're supposed to pay taxes, is you're supposed to get shit back.
I
But if you're
mean,
paying taxes, you're not getting fuck all back.
yeah.
Why pay taxes?
You're not supposed to be proud of that, Irene Jobson. She says, well, in that case, I sandbagged the whole semester. Guilt or shame? I have none. That's funny.
Oh yeah, no.
Thanks.
Satch was a great wolf husky. I loved. At the
Thanks for
time, I
being
had a Nissan Mini 4x4. It was jacked up, and I'd pop the cover open on my truck on my box, and then Satch would climb in. I'd pick him up and I'd put him on the back. He'd crawl underneath, and then he'd go to the front where I undid the thing, and then he'd sit underneath the roll bars, and then like it's funny too. Like he'd turn out and like I'm driving along in my truck, and then like he would be directly behind me, and then he'd be kind of like giving anybody behind me the old greasy eyeball, and then like people kind of like, sometimes people would be like tailgating me, and all of a sudden like Satch would be kind of like, and then like people kind of, "Ooh, okay, I'll back off."
That's right.
There's this
Hey,
wolf. There's this dog with these insane wolf eyes staring at me that I think I will back off.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can you read what PvP has to say here?
Hmm. You want me to read this?
Yeah, please.
Oh, sure. No, DJ. My city has about 170,000 and is a boom town. We have the best hospital in the interior, which is why I moved here. Where would that be?
Yeah,
It'd be.
Kelowna. Kelowna
Oh,
has fantastic. Yeah, they
ah,
are an exception. They are an exception to British Columbia. Kelowna is fantastic as far as the healthcare system. Well, I think it's because they have a lot of senior citizens and
yeah,
they have a lot of money. They have a lot of boomers with money too, so that
yeah.
maybe is and they're just well organized. Yeah,
Yeah.
but they are one of the bright spots in BC. Um,
Yeah.
one of the bright spots. I wish everywhere in BC was like that.
Yeah.
They're an example. They're an example for the rest of BC to look up to. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and
Oh.
I
Mhm.
forgot what I was saying about, or I didn't get to what I was saying about Constantina. She's a Greek, and she's a dentist.
Mhm.
Very pretty lady. And at one point there, she happened to post on Facebook. Um, I
Mhm.
got a killer headache, you know. And then I was like, and then I private messaged her and I said, hey, I can pull your headache out. And then she was like, what? No, really? I was like, well, you know, just lay down, breathe deeply, you know, for about 2 or 3 minutes, you know, and then I'll do the rest. And I was like, you don't got anything to lose. Just lay down, deep breathe for a little bit. And she was just like, okay, you know, and then you know, and then I just vacuumed all the stagnant energy out of her head. I could even feel it. It's not hard when, you know, I mean, again, you know, learning
Yeah.
qigong meditation, and
Ooh.
I managed to pull her headache out, you know, and like she's on the other side of Canada, like
Mhm.
the other side, half a planet away, or a quarter of a planet away, and
Mhm.
you know, and then she was just in shock, you know, and like I mean, a few minutes later, I was just kind of like, there, I think I can feel some of it because when you pull all the stagnant energy out like that, the I mean, there's always some residual, but eventually it'll go away, and like within a minute or two, it'll go away. And she was just astonished. She's like, I can't believe that happened. Wow, how did you do that? And I was like, it's not hard as long as you're relaxed. I can pull the stagnant energy out. But I also know, again, from my practices, I mean, when when you pull the energy out, you got to throw it away, because if you don't throw the energy out, then like it gathers into your own head.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, you have to. Where do you throw it away to?
it doesn't matter where, just out of your you just throw it out of your hands, and then like
You can't hold it yourself.
it just goes wherever. You know, the bottom line is, though, like, if you didn't throw it out, if you didn't, then what happens is it'll go up your arms and then into your head. It'll gather in your head, because like your brain, your mind will pull stagnant energy out if you haven't thrown the energy away.
Why does there need to be a residual?
I don't. It just happens, like when all that energy is pulled out. You know, there's still a little bit in there, right? But then like eventually it'll just dissipate. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's not. I didn't make the rules. I just know that that's what happens.
Cool. All right. Oh yeah, back to the chat. Okay.
Yeah, the
Um.
chance. Oh, have a
Yeah.
good night, Rob Altus.
Yeah. Yeah. Good night,
Yeah.
Rob. He's in Taiwan, so his lunch break
Wow.
uh,
Holy crap.
it's 2:22. He said 2:26 now p.m. in Taiwan. So PvP says outside of Vancouver, we
A
probably
German
have
Shepherd
best.
Aussie mix. Yeah, right on.
Yeah, I believe that in British Columbia anyway. Although Victoria General,
Hey.
pretty good as well. Do you mind reading this, please?
Yeah, sure. Lorraine
Oh,
Jobs. Lorraine Johnson says, my dad down here in the States says it took like a year through the VA to get new teeth. So at Thanksgiving, he could eat anything, anything he could gum. Right on.
well, hey, there's lots of mashed potatoes and yams and uh, what else do they eat down in for Thanksgiving? Pumpkin pie.
cream,
You can eat that without teeth.
cream corn
Yeah,
with a straw.
yeah, yeah. Oh, American Thanksgiving is later too, so I bet you they have rum and eggnog maybe with their Thanksgivings as well. So you don't need teeth for rum and eggnog, as
Yeah,
it should be.
probably.
Shouldn't.
Yeah.
PvP says I just go with my real life experience. If it's good, I'll say, and if it's not, I'll say that too. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Um, I've not had good experience with the BC healthcare system.
I
Last
understand, though. BC hasn't been that wonderful. I'm not
when
saying
I
Alberta's
went,
100% either, but
I've never gone to the Alberta healthcare system. I lived in New Brunswick when I was a kid, and it was good there. That was a long time ago. But
yeah.
recently, I tore a ligament, and it was a year. They couldn't give me an MRI. They said it could be 8 months to a year to get an MRI. So they just did a, what is it, a sonogram
Right, right.
to tell the
Sonogram.
and they said, yeah, the ligament's torn, but we don't really repair those. You don't really need it. You'll be fine. Come to find out, and I told them, well, I'm in construction, like I do physical labor, like I,
Huh.
so yeah, anyway, it's basically a cable, and I'm maintenance. If there's a broken cable, in my mind,
Mhm.
fix it. No, they don't do that here. In Alberta, they do, and in the States, they do. But in BC, they don't repair it for some reason, unless you're playing for the Vancouver Canucks, then they will. Anyway, so that was my experience. I was a little bit upset at that, but even I got a second opinion. They wouldn't do it here, but if I go to Alberta, they'll repair it for me. So I might actually have to leave BC to go to Alberta to get them to do it.
Mhm. Yeah.
And if I have to, but at least I'm in Canada. So, like, there's no extra cost. At least between provinces, there's some sort of deal where they can, say you're traveling through Nova Scotia, say you go to
Hmm.
Halifax for vacation, and I recommend you do. If you get injured in Halifax, they'll treat you, and you don't have to pay because you're Canadian, right?
Nice.
But Nova Scotia healthcare is different from Alberta healthcare. So there's some paperwork or something you got to fill out. I don't know how it
Yeah,
works,
yeah.
but or you might even have to pay up front and then get reimbursed from Alberta.
Hmm.
Maybe I've heard of that too. So
Hmm.
Canadian healthcare, because it's not federal, because it's provincial, it's very interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think I never actually, I told you this, so I'm gonna refresh again. But I think it was like in 2012. I was a part-time smoker. I was one of those annoying smokers that real smokers hate, because I could bum a smoke from somebody, no, right on, and then not have any urge to need to have a smoke
Hmm.
indefinitely. And people hated that.
Oh,
Like,
sure.
wait, wait, you smoke? I was like,
Yeah,
here and there. But
yeah.
then like I would bum a smoke, and then like I wouldn't ask them for like another day or two, and they'd be like, ugh.
Okay.
Anyway, but
Yes,
like getting back to,
when I get
uh,
older, I will quit this.
yeah,
When I'm older.
yeah. But I happened to, be taking a shower, and then I would just, you know, feeling the boys down there, and then I just kind of like, wait a minute, oh, shit, that's a distinct
Oh,
lump. Oh
oh
God,
shit.
really? And like,
Okay.
I'm not kidding. Full on panic mode. I'm just like, and then like, but I mean, I was kind of aware. I mean,
Mhm.
because of,
You can have a
remember that?
hernia.
No,
I've
no,
had
no,
families that have hernia and it goes into their sac.
no. It was a
Like,
lump on. No, it was a lump. It
oh,
was a lump on. It was a lump on one of my balls. I'll just say it.
okay. Shit.
And no, no, there was definitely a lump, and it was definitely on my balls. So
Shit.
uh, look, I'm not advocating anything. I mean, I will suggest that cancer report, but the first thing I started doing was I instantly threw out meat. I was not eating no meat and no coffee. That was a real thing. Was like no coffee. Ugh.
Mhm.
And I
I
stopped
can
having
argue.
coffee. Didn't have anything, because the biggest thing is what happens with cancer is that if your blood, if your thing starts to get acidic, starting to drop below 7 on the 0 to 14 scale, if it stops
Yes.
dropping below 7, then like that's what happens with where cancer begins to really grow. And anyway, it took a couple of weeks, because as soon as I said, oh crap, I got it, so then I called my doctor and, like, scheduled an appointment, and it took about 2.5 weeks to, for the appointment to, and by that time I was already 2 weeks onto my, see, not only was I not just strictly vegetarian. Oh God, that was horrible. I mean, eating like just cabbage, like leaves, and lettuce, and you know, and cheese, and cheese is fine, but, like, you know, and then I,
Well, that's
the
a
other
little
thing
bit.
the other thing I also did was I ate excuse me, I ate vitamin C like it was candy. Like I had 16 pieces, 16 500 milligrams a day. 16.
Mhm.
That's like four at a time, four times a day.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
but you know what? Anyway, 2.5 weeks later, got to my doctor, and then, like, he was like, okay, and then he scheduled an ultrasound, and then, like, and of course, my first impression was kind of ultrasound. I'm not pregnant, and then he was like, no, no, that's what we do to check for lumps on, your boys to see if there's anything down there, because, well, let's face it. I mean, like, my doctor's male, and, like, it's always the most uncomfortable, uncomfortable thing when your doctor's like, you know, feeling down there, and then, and then, like,
I
I don't
don't
think I
know.
really, yeah, anyway,
I'm
he was
not.
kind of okay. I said, I think I do feel like there might be something there, and he said, okay, I'll schedule a thing, ultrasound, and, and then he went to fully explain, like, okay, no, ultrasound is really what we do to check to see if there's any cancer on, well, your men down there. I'm like, oh, okay, well, all right. And then, like, it wasn't, wow, it was like at least a month before before they finally got the ultrasound, like, before they were finally able to, like, look at me, like,
Wow. That's not,
yeah,
see, because I lived in Japan, man, and there it's the next day or 2 days at the most. A month to find out is
month and a
unacceptable.
it was over a month. Yeah, like, so that's like
If
from
you
the
don't
minute
save
from the day that I discovered, like, there's something on my
something,
boys. I'm
that's
like,
unacceptable.
so, like, that's like about a month and a half. That's like 6 weeks.
You could be dead by then. I mean, literally.
No kidding.
From,
No kidding, eh?
you could be.
So, but like I said, but, like, I was eating vitamin C's like they were candy, and I was eating vegetables, and just, like, staying the hell away from meat. I hated to that was probably the biggest murder. So it's like, oh no, no, I love meat, you know, but no, but I kept my diet very, very less, very basic, not acidic, and
Hmm.
what do you know? Well, this is the other thing too. Was like the ultrasound people, like, they're sitting there and they're feeling it, and they're like, I don't feel anything. No, no, there's nothing there. I can't find anything.
Yeah.
And then after,
Wow.
literally after, like, about probably like 5 or 10 minutes, he's just kind of, oh wait, I think I've okay, there's something there, and I guess there was, but he said, mm, I, he, I love how they try to keep the results from you, but he said there's nothing there, and then, like, he's like, I don't think there's anything. I don't think it's dangerous. I don't. And he basically just said, I don't think. And then I was all, but he was like, but I'm not a doctor. I'm not supposed to tell you how to, and, like, and I'm just kind of, you know, I was feeling better though, just from his. There's not really anything there, and then, like, and then about a week later. So by this time it's like probably almost 2 months. Uh, anyway, anyway, my doctor called me up, and then he was just kind of like, no, no, you're clean. There was a small lump there, but, like, it's inert. There's nothing, it's benign. There's nothing, you know.
Good.
So that's where, I mean, like, that's where I like, like, but I mean, it also comes down to, too, like, I mean, the old, you are what you eat. I mean, like, I eat very, very little processed foods, and, like, and, like,
Right.
I really, really try not to, first of all, overeat, and then secondly, I try really hard not to. have like a very acidic or very basic diet.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
PvP
but
wants to know what your dentist's phone number is. He's asking for a friend.
her name's Constantina Koklas, and then just look
Nice,
her up in Montreal, and that's all I'm saying.
nice. And then he follows on by saying, I read they will be giving free dental for seniors soon. Ah, my friend, it is not free. No, no, no. We still pay for it. The government doesn't have their own money. It's not free.
Yeah, but you don't.
The
Yeah, but it's still money that
taxpayers,
you don't see.
taxpayers pay for it. But the taxpayers
It's
pay for it. It's not free.
get-
You're paying
I
for it.
get that.
You're
I
paying
get
for it.
that. But yeah,
You
but I
don't
get
get
that. But it's
anything. They just take it
I get
from
that.
you without giving you a receipt. They
Yeah, but if
take
you
it
don't
from
see it in, if you don't see that money anyways, as far as they're concerned, it's free.
you. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So there you go. Sorry, man.
yeah, yeah.
Well,
I
I
know.
get it. I know.
I know.
I mean, I get it. I know.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my, yeah. Okay. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. I'm slow with the chat. I apologize. Really, Jobson, I like sleep. So do I. Yeah, don't hang on to it. No, don't hang on to it. Don't hang on to the rod.
Shit,
The
we got
last
15
time
people on the chat. What the hell? Hey, Jedi Bill. Right on, man.
you're
Good to see you.
Irene Jobson, gnarly.
Hey,
I
Stark
think
of Irons here.
Irene
Hey,
Jobson
Christopher
might be
Dominguez.
sampling the whiskey. I'm not sure. Depends on where you live. And I've waited a few months for scans. They weren't life-threatening though. Well, that's good. And you know what? I will say, emergency services where I live are good. They are good where I live, so that's important for car accidents. Hey, good to see you, Christopher Dominguez. Thank you, Rod, for your help.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Good to see you here, Stark of Iron. Ahoy. Ahoy, sir. Yeah, Rod. I think a lot of it is the processed foods. The older I get, um, the more I realize like I've had friends, I've had girlfriends that have died of cancer. I mean, not while I was dating them. I mean, old girlfriends, that I dated in school,
Yeah.
and they died in their 40s from cancer. And New
Man.
Brunswick, you've never lived in New Brunswick, have you? Or the East Coast, Nova Scotia?
Yeah.
Have you?
Say again. What?
Have you lived on the East Coast, Rod?
I'm sorry. You kind of cut out there. Kind of. Blah, blah, blah.
Sorry. Have you lived in New Brunswick or the East Coast at all, Rod?
Sorry, man. No, the furthest east I came was Manitoba, and and that was in 2019. Me and my roommate drove across country to find another roommate, and then brought her back to Alberta. But she only stayed there for like 3 weeks, and then she got tired of my roommate, just like I eventually got tired of her too, and like ugh,
Hmm.
moved out. But
Yeah, no,
but
it's the East
yeah,
Coast has a lot of cancer, and I'm not sure why, but East Coast has an unusually high rate of cancer. Could be environmental, who knows? Could be the jet stream because they're New York and Toronto and Detroit. I mean,
that's a
who
fair point. I never thought about that.
Irving Oil, basically owns New Brunswick, and a lot of their industry is wood products. So they spray a lot of chemicals in the forests as part of
Yeah,
their forestry. So that also could be part of it.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Hey, William Shakespeare. Hey, good to
yeah.
see you, brother.
Well, hello, welcome. Hi. Where else but
Yeah,
right here? Good
yeah,
to see
man. Mind the chat because I'm sitting there like, holy crap, there's all these people here, and
you. Yeah, hey, welcome. Thanks for being here.
yeah.
And PvP. Yeah, I was just going to. Yes, thank you for putting that up. That was the one I was going to read. PvP says, my sister died from breast cancer 25 years ago. She never smoked. She only drank occasionally at celebrations, but she loved sweets. Is
Oh,
sugar
sugar
deadly?
is absolutely like
It is.
deadly, deadly, deadly.
Yeah, indeed. Yes. I was watching a England's leading cardiologist in the UK was saying that he thought, in his opinion, refined sugar was worse for you than tobacco. He honestly said you are going to have more health problems if you eat sugar than than consuming tobacco products. Like it's beyond, like he wasn't endorsing tobacco products, but he was saying if
Right.
you want a contrast, he said we've outlawed a lot of cigarettes for children, and yet we give them diabetes water. He kept calling soda pop diabetes water, and he's
William
not
Shakespeare.
wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
No, sugar is horrible, 100%.
Now I got something that'll bend your brain.
I
Um,
I love sugar. Friggin'
get
love
this.
sugar.
Yeah, and it's sugar related. Guess what? Sugar is chemically the same genetic molecular makeup as cocaine. Think about that.
I I've only done Coke once, I think, at Pemberton Music Festival in Whistler.
I've never touched it, but my point is that that's one of the reasons why sugar is so addictive. I find it though. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I mean, like, hey, I could have been just a bunch of junkie myself. I mean, like, I've got three native brothers that I love them, but I mean, like, I feel glad that I was able to grow up on the farm. And first of all, I drank a lot, and I mean a lot of raw milk. Screw off. I don't care what anybody says about. I think raw milk is probably the best thing you can drink. Anyway,
Mhm.
be as that may, uh, unlike my brothers, I drank a lot of milk. And so of course I became actually the tallest of the four of us. And also, all three of them all have diabetes, and they grew up in the city.
Whoa.
They all have varying
Wow.
levels of diabetes, and whereas I mean, like mom and dad, in clean farm living, and like, and this was, I grew up in the 80s. So like, they were also, this is, don't forget, in the 80s, they were saying, like, oh, don't have too much, don't eat too many eggs, you'll get too much cholesterol. Don't want to have a heart attack, and
And
like,
now they've totally disproven that. Now they've reversed on that. So, hey,
exactly,
Eugene Bird.
exactly.
Hi, Eugene Bird. Good to see you. You know what, Rod? I'm a big fan of whatchamacallit, moderation. Moderation in everything. And also
Oh,
listen to your body. If your body will tell you if it's not good. Your body
exactly.
will tell you.
Yeah. Yeah, well said, Starkmeyer. And lactose and fructose are natural sugars. Yes, exactly. That's why I have natural honey in my house, and that's actually what I have with my. I don't even drink coffee anymore. I may wind up having to switch to it because I'm going to run out of mud soon. But because mud, by the way, it's good stuff, but it's actually, believe it or not, magic mushrooms. They're microdosed. They don't they don't get you wacky or anything like that. It's just literally a tiny bit of mushrooms made into a coffee, and I mix honey and a little bit of cream, and that's my daytime coffee. But I mean, like, as I said, like, I'm kind of have to. I kind of have to. I've been pinching pennies about the last few couple of weeks, so I'm gonna have to. Might I got a lot of coffee. May wind up having to switch to the coffee. And Oh, nice!
Now did my
Wow.
food.
Yeah, I've been meaning to get some too. I know, because my friend in Red Deer, she's a minimalist, and yeah, she doesn't. She she's like, we just have to be talking about mushrooms, and then all of a sudden, like, and then her hubby all of a sudden just turns on and like brings this box down off the cupboard, pops it open, and you know,
There you go.
I don't know, must have been several $100s worth of mushrooms and packages of mushrooms in there. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, they're about
Yeah.
$80 an ounce,
Yeah.
more or less. I think
Um,
that's the chemical composition for that's a chemical formula for sugar that Eugene Bird just threw up there. Carbon 12, um, hydrogen 22. Oxygen 11. There we go.
Yeah.
And William Shakespeare says, I had a surrogate sister that battled breast cancer for 10 years. She finally succumbed in 2018, and it was crushing to me. Sorry to hear that, man. Yeah, that's it's brutal. I'm very sorry to
Yeah.
hear that. Yeah,
Yeah. Good thinking, guys. Yeah. I mean, like my parents, I mean, like they, first of all, as I said, I drank, I mean, farm boy, I drank a lot of raw milk. Again, I don't care what anybody says. I grew up on a farm. I drank it my whole damn life. Anyway, and then mom
raw
and
milk?
dad they also pushed us because these are only exclusive in Canada. They're, you, do you have, did you eat Shreddies? Yeah? Nice. Spidey, did you ever eat Shreddies?
Yeah, I dumped a lot of sugar on them.
Yeah,
Like
me
white.
too. But I would still. Well, mom still kind of only pushed us to only have like two. So I was like, okay, fine. Then ultimately, when I got to be a teenager, then I got when I got started getting more athletic. Uh, I graduated from Shreddies to Weetabix. Well, Weetabix, and then I said I really, really started to fall in love with eggs on toast.
I
Loved eggs
do
on
like.
toast.
Well, I've stopped with all the bread. I've done with. I'm not going to do the processed flour anymore. I'm not doing anything processed if I can help it. Um,
No, no. Well, see, no, see the bread that I have, whole wheat,
um,
whole wheat. Never, never. Ever since I was a kid, I mean, I hated white bread, and even we did a science experiment in high school science, bio 10, I think
oh,
it was.
gracious, God. You
Yeah,
don't like
like
white bread? Huh?
yeah, I don't like white bread. Yeah, but no, like my science teacher, he's like, hey, like we hand out a piece of bread to every one of us, everybody in the room. And then then he said, "All right, start chewing the white piece of bread. Like plain white, like nothing on it. White piece. And we kept chewing on it. Get this. After, I mean, like this was long after you would have swallowed it, right? Probably like
Yeah.
about the 5 minute mark. We're sitting there chewing it, and then suddenly, like we're all kind of like, what the hell? Why does this taste like sugar?
What?
And like that's just it. See, white bread, white bread is starch. And then
I like it.
starch eventually transforms to sugar,
Right.
which is a which is
Wow.
exactly what it does in your gut.
But whole grain doesn't.
Exactly. That's why, and the other thing too, you'll notice that when you have whole wheat bread, you will feel a lot fuller when you have like a whole wheat bread sandwich.
Yeah.
Trust
Yeah,
me.
I've just cut I've cut out carbs altogether pretty much. Pretty much. Other than alcohol.
Yeah, yeah,
Fair bit of alcohol.
yeah,
Fair bit of
yeah. But yeah, no, like when I was a kid, I'd have like four eggs sunny side. Well, I was more I liked Sunny Side Up, but I mean like I liked them
never
better
really
when they if they were I liked them better if they were hockey pucks. Now I don't mean like the grungy sort of like overcooked eggs that are hockey pucks. I'm talking like they're just hard enough that that they're hockey pucks, that there's no yolk, so that when you cut them open, the yolk is solid as well. So
mhm.
but yeah, no, I would have egg. I would have eggs on toast and cereal back then. Not now, but
We would grow up on Captain Crunch and Fruit Loops.
yeah.
Like I don't know how. I don't have any health ailments because we literally grew up on Cheese Whiz, Fluff. Do you remember Fluff, the marshmallow spread with peanut butter? We'd have Fluffernutters. Peanut butter with
No,
Fluff.
Mom always kept us away from that. If we ever had anything on our peanut butter, we would have just peanut butter, just grape jelly or jam, strawberry
Mm.
jam. And
It's
Eugene
really
Bird asks, was Rod a wrestler? Yeah, I used to be, and actually, I want to get back into it just I want to get my
Mhm.
Thunder Bomb on record. Like I want people, you know, yeah, damn, that dude could do a power bomb with the splits.
Good night, PvP. Good night, buddy.
Yeah. Night PvP.
And yes, Rod is a wrestler. Yes, thank you. Yeah,
Thanks,
absolutely.
Stark. Hey, thanks,
And
Tony.
Eugene
Yeah, trucker and author.
is evidently the nitrogen messes stuff up. Wow. Okay. Nitrogen. Interesting. And sugar, yeah. Definitely
Yeah,
sugar content. It's amazing. I don't
yeah,
know that.
yeah.
Okay.
No, that's right. See, like, yeah, like, and like,
Completely. I
in
get completely. Captain
yeah,
Crunch.
yeah.
Sugar Crisp. Is a cereal.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh,
like my yeah. I mean, like my neighbors, my best friend. I'd stay over at his place, and like they'd have like Fruit Loops or Sugar
mm,
Crisp or or Apple Crisp or something like that. And then like it
yeah.
was fun having that for like one morning, but like next morning get home like well, have your cereal, and
Yeah.
of course in winter, mom would actually cook us up, like oatmeal
Yeah. We get that
porridge.
too in winter. Yeah. In winter. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. In the pot. In the pot. The big bowl of oatmeal. Yeah.
yeah. Oh,
Fun.
Eugene Bird says, amazingly, these month scientists. Hmm.
I think it's this month.
Oh, this month scientists. Oh, okay, yeah, makes sense. Amazingly, this month these scientists announced the first nitrogen-based energy-producing organelle was found in algae. The rest of us use chloroplasts mitochondria. That's interesting. Huh.
Wow. Very interesting. Yeah. Nitrogen based. Yeah.
Intriguing.
Yeah. I
Oh,
love
right
science.
on.
Biology. Honestly, Rod, I don't know. I didn't know how to get into it, but I could have done biology. I love, like, were you a kid growing up where you were always like playing with the tadpoles and the ponds? And when the
Are you
tide would
kidding? I
go,
ran out. Man, we had a tank that well, it was for cows, like drinking tank, but then ultimately, I mean, it was just moved to between our two houses, between the old farmhouse and then the new farmhouse Dad built like 5 years after I was born. And as a kid, we used to fill it up and just take the hose and fill the thing up. It was a cattle drinking tank, but then like ultimately, dad went to the store and just went to the thing and bought like just like a big steel one, so we didn't need the old wooden one, and the old wooden one was just big enough for a kiddie pool, just perfect for a kiddie pool. So like, and like we would actually we would drain it, and then like fill it up like this deep, and then go out frogging, catch as many frogs as we possibly can, and just put them in the thing.
uh-huh.
And
Yep.
yeah, no, that's exactly what I.
Yep. Yeah, I grew up doing that. I love biology. Yep. What what
Oh,
is Stark Lawrence says eventually nitrogen gets us all.
it definitely
Really?
got the well, it definitely got the um damn the Zeppelin, the what the flip,
Oh, the submarine. The mini sub.
no,
Oh, the
the Hindenburg. Ah, there, you beat me to it. Yeah,
hey, gotta say, oh, Jill is doing the best of TOS in 9 hours and gotta sleep. Oh, fantastic. Well,
nice. Yeah, I want to catch that too.
yeah, Anti-Dope Joe is a really big friend of this channel, so I'm thrilled
Yeah,
to promote her. Yeah, I can. So, okay, 9 hours. She's doing the best of. Now, TOS, for those of you that aren't geeks, is the original series of Star Trek with Captain Kirk and Spock. Do you mind reading this, please, Rob?
yeah, sure, not at all. Miskatonic
Yeah.
Madman says different sugars have more or less carbon atoms, making some forms better for fermentation.
Hmm, yeah. And then, ooh, Eugene Bird continues on. Sucrose, table sugar, is a glucose and galactose molecule combined that splits in your body, and the galactose turns into glucose by flipping the position of two atoms.
Hmm.
Wow, that sounds nefarious.
Oh, Eugene Bird says that Rod needs his own T-shirt. It's funny he mentions that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Want me to? I can put you solo. Why don't I put you
I'm
solo,
trying
Rob?
to.
There we
Okay.
go.
There. There's my T-shirt. I'm actually going to start marketing these through See Through Love, partly through with my Patreon and my yes, I have a Patreon now.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
The man,
excellent.
the legend.
Yeah. You were saying you were going to work on your Patreon, Rob. That's fantastic. Good for you, man.
Yes, I'm launched now. In fact, here I'll put it in the chat
Yeah,
or in
thanks.
the
Please go
or
ahead.
yeah,
So Stark of Iron says, eventually still, the oxygen layer of our atmosphere will leave the remaining nitrogen, which will end surface life in 100,000 years or so. Mr. Stark of Iron, you are sadly underestimating the creativity and adaptability of human ingenuity, sir. I disagree. We will live on the surface, and damn it, we will be happy.
yeah,
Ooh,
but that's what yeah, but what are trees for? What do trees do? They transform carbon dioxide into oxygen.
William Shakespeare says raw milk. I like breastfeeding. I approve that message. Totally irrelevant. Eugene Bird, no, not at all. You believe it? I like eggs in a basket. Ooh, I like piggies in a blanket. Those are good. Plus, Christopher says if I eat too much sugary foods, I develop stomach and digestive problems. See, if you do it
Yeah.
enough, you'll train your body. You'll train your body to get over that. Don't be a quitter, Christopher. Don't
Hmm.
be a quitter. Come on now.
Yeah.
Good night. Good night, man. Ooh, peanut butter Captain Crunch. I haven't tried that. Haven't tried that. Sounds good. Mm. And yes, Papa Nutter. That's it. Oh yeah. Okay. We're catching up.
Yep. We saw that.
Um.
Yep.
Yep. Oh. Uh. Play some tunes to bombard neutrons. Ooh. All right. Grits. What are grits? Grits are they're a dough thing, aren't they? They're like a fried dough, aren't they?
No, grits are actually part of. Even cows have them. Grits.
Yeah. Are you sure?
Chickens. Yeah. Oh well.
I thought
I,
it was a bannock.
I've
Solid
seen
beef.
cows murdered in front of me and then hung up on the tractor and then yeah I'm like man that's grits. You know I'm like well and as a kid I'm kind of okay that's not always really something I wanted to know but that's just it when you're on a farm you know so many
No.
things you do find out unintentionally.
Oh. Don't mention
Please don't
tadpoles. Oh,
listen to
is that Cardinal Sin? Yes, Eugene Bird. That is Cardinal Sin, our buddy.
nice.
It is indeed.
Oh man.
Yep, it's him. Oh, I think it's got the back too.
Nice.
Yep, and that channel is still in operation. I believe Jill is helping to maintain that, and Ari Babel.
I was gonna say Ari. Yeah. Ari or
Hmm?
Irie or you know however
Still
you
in
might pronounce it.
operation. I believe Jill is helping.
Oh, my TV shut off. I turned it back on,
Yes,
and oh shit, it's not muted.
Dark of Iron has a song parody contest, and if you submit your song parodies to him, he will uh, sing them and possibly to music as well. So
Good
I've been
Lord, man! There's 17 people here still doing. It's 1 o'clock,
oh,
and well, me, and 12 o'clock for you, and
it
like,
is.
wow, still well.
Ooh, do you mind reading this from Christopher Dominguez?
Yeah, sure. Christopher Dominguez says, I remember when I was in high school in marine science class, I dissected a clam, a crayfish, and a fish. Hmm. I seem
Yeah.
to recall doing the old doing a frog thing, and that was
Hmm.
the best, the most the worst I had,
Hmm.
again, had to dissect.
Yep.
Oh,
Ooh,
Irene must be way out east.
3 a.m. Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, she's out in New Brunswick land or somewhere. New Brunswick or
New York or.
well, no, New York. No, that's New Brunswick. That would have to be New Brunswick or Nova Scotia or Prince Edward Island because Newfoundland is
Hey, Sean Carter, how you doing?
yeah. Hey, Sean,
Hello,
good to see
everyone.
you.
Just popping in to say hi before bed. Hey, good for you. Good to see you, brother. Yeah.
Howdy.
Read See
Welcome.
Through Love. Let me know. I want a review from you, brother.
Mhm. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it is midnight, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Oh, okay. Yeah. Outside of Chattanooga, Tennessee. There must not be daylight savings there then. Oh no, sorry. Nope. Right. On the same time as New York. Right. New
Yeah, that's what I
Brunswick.
thought.
You guys are going to figure out 4 a.m. Yes. Right. Good to see you, Sean Carter. Thanks for being here. Yeah, absolutely. Good to have you. Welcome. Yeah, right. That's uh, that's a big thing, man. The cutting down of the sugars and the processed foods, and that's why I've started my own garden. I'm growing a lot of my own
21
food.
people? Are you shitting me? What?
Yeah,
How are we
yeah.
having 21 people? Wow.
And I don't know how many we have on X. We have a
Hmm.
lot more on X. Yeah,
Huh,
thanks
that's
for being
probably
here.
it. Hmm.
No, this is just YouTube. There's additional on X. This is just YouTube. Yeah, thanks for being here. Um,
Yeah.
and
Hey,
that's
people,
that's good.
subscribe to my channel too, because I'm gonna be we're gonna be sharing these streams, so going back and forth. So
Good for you, man. Awesome. I'm glad you're doing
yeah.
it. So, yeah,
Yeah.
what's your launch date? When do you think you're actually gonna launch a channel? Do you think?
Well, um, well, I mean, I've technically already kind of launched, but I mean, like,
Mhm.
my Patreon is launched, and I'm really hoping by the weekend I'll do my first Rod's rants, and then
Yeah.
I'll probably make the first one free just to just put it on YouTube, and well, ultimately it is going to be free ultimately, but like, I mean, I guess you're going to be paying for Patreon, you'd pay for the early access to it, but I'm I'm also going to put together a weekly newsletter, along with a couple of cool manips from my past, because I've got
Yeah.
hundreds, on my
Fantastic.
probably thousands on
And
my home computer. And
excellent. You're writing, putting out books at the same time, right?
yeah, and I'm looking also to probably give on certain level on certain levels. I'll be given free ebooks of See Through Love. And ultimately, I think I'm going to wind up reading See Through Love and then just putting it on YouTube. And then,
That's a good idea. So people can listen to it like a podcast type thing.
yeah, I mean, because my buddy, I have a couple of guys who are truck drivers, and like they want to read the book, but I mean, like, because they're driving so much, like, I mean, like, I have a good buddy of mine from Home Hardware. He'd love to, but he's waiting for it to come up on Audible, and I've been slacking on that. I need to get on that. But I'm thinking also, like, since it's the first, I want the first book also because the first book is also long, as Mexican Iron Man pointed out. It's 438 pages if I remember correctly. And
Wow.
yeah, that's a bit daunting. But I mean, like
Yeah.
as Mikey said, it's a pretty fast read, and I did design it that way. I mean, both the spacing on the pages and page to page read.
Yeah.
In fact, I was quite humbled to discover that the Critical Drinker's latest book, Dark Harvest,
Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah.
all the pages, it's approximately the same. It's approximately the same length as my book.
Yeah. Okay.
It's approximate again. They're both approximately the same size. You know, so but mine's a
Yeah.
lot more fun read, whereas his is kind of in the spirit of World War Z. If
Okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, which don't get me wrong, it's pretty engrossing so far. But like but mine's a lot more fun.
It's more sexy part.
Invisibility, secret powers, government conspiracies, all kinds of cool shit in mine. You know, and love, romance.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Christopher Dominguez in the chat says, last year, prior to my move to Wisconsin, I helped my mom out with her garden, planting fruits, vegetables, flowers, and maintaining them. That's important, Christopher Dominguez. That is really important. And in some areas around here, they're actually trying to restrict people. They're making it harder for us to have gardens here, Rod. And I'm questioning why. You know, questioning why.
yeah,
Ooh, yes, Starkman, you should put out an album. You've got a couple of original melodies. I know you
yeah.
do, and they're good parodies, and you should transcribe them. Absolutely, 100%.
Actually, yeah, and actually, Stark of Iron. I can put you in touch with my brother, and he's a guitar player. He actually did the he actually made background music for Doomcock for singing
Ooh,
Whiskey in the Jar. He hasn't
nice.
used it,
Yeah,
but yeah, Whiskey in the Jar. But yeah.
I like that song. That's
since
a good one.
since Irene Johnson is curious, I will read
Oh,
Irene. Irene,
right.
I will read the back cover of my book for her, and then she can decide just how kinky it is.
Mhm.
Yeah, see through. Book is called See Through Love.
Here, let me make you big here, Ron. I'll make this solo here. There we go.
It's called See Through Love, and the back cover reads: Every woman has experienced a moment where they wish they could just disappear. High school teacher Carolina Dominguez has the unique ability to turn invisible at will. While she usually has control over her supernatural ability, Carolina becomes invisible every time she's attracted to a man. When Carolina finds herself infatuated with the hot new gym teacher, Julian Marshall, she is shocked to discover that Julian is blind, but he can see her. Once Julian's secret past resurfaces, Carolina and Julian find their relationship entangled in lust, supernatural powers, and government intrigue. That's my book, See Through Love.
Ooh,
And I'm hard at work at See Through Love 2 Pyro.
nice.
So
Excellent.
I've already I'm working on two. I've already got three, four, five, five, six, and seven plotted out too. So
Now, do you think it'll be a quicker process to get your second book out compared to your
I
first, or is it about the same?
I hope so, but I mean, like, there's usually anywhere from 3 to 6 months from when I mean, I'm self-publishing though too, so self-publishing is
Mhm.
just a smidge faster than a. Well, I shouldn't say it isn't. It is because it can actually drag out a little longer than say than a regular well, like when you're working on a contract with a literary agent and then a publisher, which a literary agent, sure, I guarantee will speed things up. But well, it's still a way of getting it out there. And then the other thing too is the fact that there's only 80 literary agents for Canada, and look, you know how big Canada is, you know.
Yeah, way
So
across. Mhm.
yeah, and they say there are more authors out there who don't have literary agents than authors who do, which I recognize that, and and another interesting thing is that Friesen Press, who did See Through Love, my
Mhm.
book, they're they did the original Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they ultimately she bought herself out, and then now she owns 100% of the publishing and everything, right? But yeah, no, J.K. Rowling went through a bunch of places, and everybody said no, no, no. Warner Brothers, like Simon and Schuster and all them. She went through all of them, and everybody all said no. So then she's like, okay, fine, I'm gonna self-publish this, and she literally was, from what I understand, like she was literally like, single mom living on her own dime and like just barely making two pennies rubbed together, but she managed to get her book published, and next thing you know, it just took off, and people
Yeah.
people clung to it. Suddenly, a publisher tracked her down, and next thing you know, well, the rest is history.
Yep. I've never read them, honestly. I was a little too old for them, I think, when they became
No,
popular.
me too, me too. I know.
I was
I mean, like, it's young
a
adult fiction too. I mean, like, mine. It could be argued that mine is young adult fiction, but I mean, like, there's swearing in my book. And it's basically it. As far as I'm concerned, it's more of an adult read too. And any of the
oh,
women, including
good
my
to hear,
banker
right?
loved it. In fact, my banker loved it so much that she at one point there, like, I don't want to spoil it, so I'm just going to simply say that there's something questionable that happens to one of the main characters, and she as soon as that happened, she was just kind of she put the book down, and she's for about 5 minutes, and she was like so angry at me. She almost called me too because she was so mad. And then she's just kind of like, and then she read a little bit further, and then all of a sudden, like, what happened in the book, it didn't quite happen, and she was just kind of like, oh, okay, but damn it. And she told me that later, she's like, ugh. But like, I
Hey,
was I was happy about that because like that's like that's like one of the highest compliments as a writer you can get. I mean, it's the same thing as when who was it, Mexican Iron Man, when he
mhm,
got my book and he picked it up again. I designed the first 6 chapters to be like read like that, just
yeah,
and
you can just
and
cover.
then yeah, and not only that, but like even after at the end of each chapter, I'd still leave a little bit of a hook, little bit of a cliffhanger, you know. And Mike told me, he was like, man, he said, I love it. I can't, so well written. He said, because like, man, at the end of each chapter, I'm just kind of like, oh, I'll just read till the end of this chapter, and then I'll quit, then like,
You
but then
shouldn't.
he'd finish the chapter. He's like,
Yep,
I gotta see what happens next.
you have
And then
to
he'd,
see
he'd keep reading, keep reading. Then all of a sudden, finally, he looked at the clock, and it's like 2:25 in the morning. And he's like, I gotta get to bed. So he just took a piece of paper just for a marker,
good.
and then just went to bed. But he said he killed it in like 2 nights.
No, well, Irene Johnston wants to know, are we getting half alien lizard babies out of your book?
Uh, Probably not.
Hmm, there you go. Do you mind reading what Sean Carter has to say?
Yeah. Sean Carter says, Stark of Iron, I couldn't ever get good. I'm too good at playing by ear. I just automatically would stop reading and then play by memory and feel. It's a cool talent, but it's frustrating. Huh.
On piano.
Okay.
Yeah, on piano. Yep, yeah, I believe it. And hello and welcome to Golo Diddling Channel TV. Hello and welcome. Good to see
Yeah.
everyone here. Thanks for being here. Yeah.
Yeah. Good Lord, I still can't believe we have like 20 people here.
Mhm. And so Rod, who did the cover for your book? And did you need to have a cover done before you could get it, like even start to get it to the printer? Like, how does
It
that
was
work?
funny. Well, it's funny you said that because, like, yeah, you see, I was like, at first, I was like, see, I'm actually pretty good at digital art, and well, I mean, like, I can like photo manip even regular pictures. I probably could even pay a good model to do it, and I even I've talked to her personally, Isabel Fonches. She's a Brazilian, but she lives well, she's American now. Like she moved to Florida. She even looks like Carolina Dominguez, as a matter of fact, in the way I've envisioned her. And I've contacted her. I mean, I even suggested, like, would she do like to do like a book trailer and all that? And she said she'd be open to doing that. And like somewhere down the road, that'd be cool.
Can I,
Hell, if there's even if Mexican Iron Man with Mexican Iron Man's help and a few others, who knows? Maybe we could even get a movie. And like, I'm not sure if you
yeah,
would, but who
great.
knows? I mean, she's an actress herself. But regardless, getting back to the cover,
Yeah,
I I would actually. That's an interesting thing. I might consider seeing about inquiring with her about. I mean, maybe taking paying her for some photographs, and then just manipulating those photos and putting those on the cover.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Oh, wow. That's a
yeah,
hard way to learn.
yeah. Or I could just do the other thing, and that is that my diabetic brothers, I could actually. Well, I mean, like my brother. It was my brother's Kevin. My brother Kevin who did
Mhm.
who did the cover. He mostly got it right, but and he even did the coloring. Like he did,
Oh, wow. Okay.
yeah. But I mean, there were some things that he didn't fully. Well, he didn't fully grasp with Carolina's invisibility. So I just decided I took the picture myself, and since I had it scanned on my computer, I put it in my photo manipulation program, and I finished up on the photograph or on photograph on the drawing. And I mean, I basically touched it up, but like still the basic idea was his. I like how he did it. Kind of sort of like a bar in the background and like chandelier overhead and people on a table. Can't quite make any details up, but yeah, again, I like his art though. And I have another brother who also does just as good art, really good. I'm gonna have him do the cover for my second one, which is
Nice.
going to be which is going to be the second one is basically going to be um, first of all, Carolina, her mind is becoming a little bit splintered because, well, when she was raped, um, of course, if you ever have done any research or anything on women who have been raped, uh, they um, some of them, as a defense mechanism, sometimes their mind will split,
Yeah.
and then what happens is they will
Well,
develop an alternate personality, and that's going to happen to Carolina,
yeah, of
and
course.
also, yeah,
Oh,
and
you
then
can say,
also, hmm?
yeah, you can use adult words on this channel. I don't care about
Okay,
being modified. We're talking adults. Yeah, we're adults here.
and
We can like adults.
okay. So anyway, also in the second book, there winds up being an assassin who can cause people and things to spontaneously combust. And there are actually real people like that.
like Firestarter, like
Yeah,
like Firestarter, the movie with Drew Barrymore.
that's right.
That was such a good movie, man. That was such a good movie. I loved it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
such a
and
cool, such a cool.
yeah,
And
and then
we never had a sequel. We never found out just how powerful she was,
yeah,
a little girl, when she grew
yeah,
up. I'd love Drew Barrymore to do a movie now
yeah,
and do Firestarter too, and but write it with people who actually know how to write a good
yeah,
story with good
exactly.
characters, and don't make it woke. I'd, I'd go to see that in the theaters with the special
Well,
effects now, dude, and real effects with real explosions. I'd
no,
like to
you know
see
the
that.
big thing is just don't have modern writers write it, or updated for modern audiences, as Drinker likes to say.
Yeah. Okay.
Have
Yeah.
no have people who have had real experiences, well, like me or anybody else, like look within our YouTube community who write. Give it to them. Don't fucking
Yeah.
don't give it to people who've been in Hollywood, because these are people who were born with
Mhm.
silver spoons in their asses. So like
And they don't
they don't
realize
know.
we have a
Yeah,
lot of creators in our community, in the people that we know, which is granted a couple of hundred between the two of us. There's a lot of talented people there with a lot of good ideas who
yeah,
the more importantly, they have passion for creating what they're doing and making it good.
yeah,
And they have passion for all of these IPs, these. And I would
yeah.
almost agree with that, Christopher Dominguez. I would almost. Well, no, wait a minute. 51st base was that?
Hmm.
What? Okay, is that her
Oh,
best
sorry.
movie? Maybe. Firestarter, she was 5, so it's kind of hard to compare when
Yeah,
she
yeah.
was 30. She's a different person, but yeah, that was a good movie. Yeah, I liked Adam Sandler. I liked that movie with Adam Sandler because he wasn't being his usual predictable role. So that was actually a good movie.
I think
I
she
like
was
that.
okay too in what do you call it? Um,
What are you talking about? And why does that
um,
seem inappropriate? Not sure what you're on about, but I like your style.
I thought she was good in Charlie's Angels too.
Yeah, that was the first one was a fun movie. Yeah, yeah, me too.
Yeah, I was a little kind of. I mean, the second one's still pretty good. It just wasn't as good as the first, as sequels usually aren't. But
Uh,
it was still good.
yeah, I mean,
I definitely put it against above Charlie's Angels 2019, was it? Yeah, 19.
I don't even think I bothered to see it at that point. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, Rod, that's 51st Dates had Aston in it too. I don't know. Sean Austin,
yeah,
Aston Martin. I like Aston Martins.
yeah. Wasn't that? No, it wasn't. Yeah,
Never.
wasn't that? Um, yeah, that was not Bilbo. The other guy.
Yeah, Sam
Yeah,
Whiskey.
Samwise Gamgee.
Yeah, Samwise Gamgee. Yeah, that's right. Sean
Yeah,
Austin. Yeah. But anyway, Rod,
yeah,
it's just about 12:30 here. So I'm getting a little bit
yeah.
sleepy.
Sure, and it's 1:30 here. So yeah, no.
Yeah. Thanks for
I'm still
talking.
humbled by the fact that we have 15 people still listening to us.
Great to have everyone here. Thanks for being here, folks. And I'm
Yeah,
glad you were able to share a little bit about what it's
that was
like.
fun, and thank you, man. Yeah, no, and I understand. Spontaneous party
I love
last
spontaneous
night.
stuff. Last night
I'm
got
like, hey, where'd you go? Where'd you go?
out of hand. It started here. We had friends come over, and the kitchen started, and then we went over to their place, and my my driver wasn't partying, but I was. So it got out of hand. Yeah, and we just went till midnight. I think it was midnight. Yeah, and it wasn't planned. Just sort of happened.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, no worries, brother.
And
It's just fun to be able to hang out and chat for once a week.
hey, I'm glad the three of us can all be here together.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm glad.
I feel like he's here. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, and thank
I
you.
mean,
Exactly. Thank you for
yeah.
being a friend. That song is playing in my head.
Thank you too, Irene.
Yes, thank you. And
Yeah,
yes, William Shakespeare Bird, who is another friend, says, "Nice to hang
yeah,
out in the background, candlelight in my pen." That's awesome. Good for you, man.
yeah,
Well, on 2 hours, I think we're gonna wrap it up. And
yeah,
yeah, I hope
yeah,
we can talk more about your book. And I'd like to hear more about
yeah.
book
Sure.
number two as well. And I look forward, Rod. Yeah,
Yeah,
anything you can, anything that you do for Rod's Rants or anything like that. I mean, obviously, I'm gonna promote them here, buddy. So yeah, it's good to have you here.
sure. Yeah.
Thanks for being here, chat.
All right.
Thanks for being
Have a good night, chat.
here.
See you guys.
And have a good Monday night.